Hi everybody, this is Dulcimer. I hope that you are doing well. If you are familiar with my videos, you know that I play an instrument called the hammered dulcimer. When I tell people that this is the instrument that I play, more often than not, the response that I get is, "Oh, what's that? I've never heard of that before." If you are one of those people wondering what a hammered dulcimer is, please check out the link that I am posting above. Once I have finished explaining what exactly a hammered dulcimer is to the person I'm talking to, the next question that I generally get is, how did you decide on an instrument like that? The short answer is that the sound a hammered dulcimer makes absolutely enchants me. I love it. I think it's great, and I have thought it was great for most of my life. The longer version of the story has to do with Christmas CDs and moving back from Japan to the United States. I've considered making a video about it, but I haven't decided if it's one of those it's a funny story kind of stories that's actually funny, or if I just think it's funny because it's my life. But if you are interested and you want to hear that story, let me know and I will make a video of it. Anyway, when it really comes down to why I chose to play the hammered dulcimer, it's because it's an instrument that I absolutely love. I love the way it sounds, like I said, but I also love playing it, and I look forward to getting to sit down and practice it almost every day. It's just a really, really good feeling to enjoy my instrument. And I think that whenever anyone is choosing an instrument that they want to possibly play, that they should be choosing an instrument that makes them personally happy and that they want to play. So the hammered dulcimer is actually the third instrument that I have studied. When I was really little, I played the piano, and then around middle school, I played the flute, and then starting at the age of 24, I finally picked up the hammered dulcimer, and that's where we are today. In first grade, I decided I wanted to play the piano. Now, that's a really long time ago, so I can't tell you the exact reasons why I decided that I wanted to play the piano, but if I had to guess, it probably had something to do with my school music teacher at the time. He was a really great guy. I really enjoyed his class, and he happened to be the town's piano teacher. So chances are I just really, really wanted to take any type of lesson with him, and it turned out that those lessons were piano lessons. My parents were really supportive. They got me a keyboard, and I started taking lessons. Playing the piano for me was fine. I really enjoyed the lessons. Like I said, I really enjoyed my teacher, so they were great. But practice, I really only practiced when I was reminded to. I liked the way the music sounded when I did a good job playing a piece, but I didn't really enjoy the instrument as a whole. It was just something I was doing. I've got this really vivid memory of a day in second grade where we were in the middle of a hurricane and school had been canceled because it was pouring and the roads were flooded. And my parents decided that as long as I wasn't in school, that I should be practicing. So they had stuck me in front of my piano, and I really didn't want to be there. And while I was practicing, I was hearing them have this conversation in the kitchen about how they were pretty sure we were going to lose power soon. Now remember, I had a keyboard, so that depended on electricity. And second grade me came up with this great idea that if there was no power, I couldn't practice my piano, and I really didn't want to practice my piano. So I kind of scooched under the piano and I got the power adapter out of the outlet, the power outlet, just enough so that it was no longer receiving power, but it was still in the outlet. And then I went and I told my parents that the piano wasn't working. Clearly there was no power in that outlet and I couldn't practice my piano anymore. That's not how it works. And it took like 2 seconds for my dad to find the problem, plug that piano right back in, and I got to keep practicing. So having those memories clearly shows that piano really wasn't the instrument for me. I had a lot of friends who loved it, but not for me. I did end up quitting sometime in second grade. My parents finally agreed after a back and forth for a while that maybe piano lessons weren't the thing for me anymore, and I got to quit. I didn't really abandon music though. I was in my school's hand chime choir for 2 years. Does that count as another instrument that I learned? I don't know. You decide. And then in 5th grade, which was the year that everyone got to join band if they wanted to, I decided I wanted to play the flute. I decided I wanted to play the flute like 90% of the rest of the girls in my grade. And I will say that for that year, I really did enjoy the flute. It was great because one, the school offered lessons and they were in the middle of the day, which meant you got to get out of class to go to your lesson. Which was wonderful. But also, seeing as 90% of the girls in my grade were playing the flute, a lot of my friends were also playing the flute, and we ended up practicing together a lot, and it was a really good bonding time. It was a lot of fun. But then in 6th grade, I changed schools, and I did continue band at my new school, but there were no lessons during class time anymore. And I didn't really have any friends in band. So I continued band until the end of 8th grade, continued the flute until the end of 8th grade, but I didn't really get much out of it. And when I moved up to high school in 9th grade, there wasn't even a discussion this time. The flute just was put away and I moved on. Again, though, music was still part of my life. I was a drama kid, so I was up on stage singing a lot during high school. And in college, I did briefly pick up the flute again for a semester, but that didn't last long. Then, after college, after living in Japan for a few years, I moved back to the United States, and that's when I got my hammered dulcimer. The difference in the way it felt when I was playing the flute or the piano and the way it feels now when I play my hammered dulcimer is like night and day. I love everything about the hammered dulcimer. Like I said, I love the way that it sounds and I love how it feels when I'm playing it. It clicks with me. I love it. I've thought about what makes the hammered dulcimer so different for me as opposed to the piano and the flute and other things that I've tried in the past. And I think I have come up with the reason for the difference. The hammered dulcimer is the first instrument that I've chosen purely for myself. I chose the instrument because I wanted to play it, so I play it. I choose the music that I want to play because I like that music, and I play it. So, with all that storytelling, what I am trying to say is that it can be really easy to decide to pick up an instrument because your friends want to play that instrument. That's especially true when you're in school. Or maybe you want to pick up an instrument because it looks really cool in a TV show or a movie that you like. And there's nothing wrong with those reasons for picking up an instrument. It's the reason why I picked up the flute in middle school. But with that said, you need to remember that you are picking up an instrument for you and nobody else. When you do start thinking about an instrument that you'd like to play, make sure that you're asking yourself, is this an instrument that I would pick up for myself if my friends weren't saying that they wanted to play it, or if I hadn't watched that movie or that TV show? You want an instrument that excites you just because it is that instrument. You should be playing an instrument that makes you happy because you're playing it. As a kid, I don't know if I would have chosen the same instruments I did if I had gotten the chance to ask myself if they were the instruments that I really personally wanted to play. Maybe I still would have chosen the piano and the flute. They're both amazing instruments. They sound beautiful, and I know I got a lot of really good, important experience out of playing both of them, even if I didn't stick with them in the end. But even with all that good experience and a lot of positive memories with both of the instruments when it comes down to it, like I said before, it's still a huge difference between playing the piano and the flute in the past and kind of feeling like it was just something I needed to do, and playing the hammered dulcimer now, where I look forward to practicing and playing new songs every day. Having an instrument that you play for yourself and you love playing just for the sake of playing really makes all the difference. If you're watching this video and you are currently in the process of deciding on an instrument that you might like to play, I hope that you can find something that really excites you and that you really love. And do ask yourself what you personally want to play and what you personally would be happy playing. Don't just focus on what other people are playing or what you think you should be playing. Remember that a lot of music stores and music schools actually rent instruments. So before you commit to one instrument, you do have a chance to try a bunch of different instruments and play them and see if they really do click with you. And if you really do love playing them for the sake of just playing and enjoying the sound and the experience of spending time with the instrument. Because in the end, what really matters is that you have an instrument that makes you happy. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I also have an Instagram account, which I will link below in the information. Check that out if you want to see what I am up to with my hammered dulcimer, what songs I am currently working on, and pictures of my cat. There are a lot of pictures of my cat on my Instagram. But yeah, anyways, again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.